Hello everyone and welcome back. Now in this video, we are going to dive into one of the most important skills in Python, which is getting input from the user. Now this is how we make our programs feel interactive, letting the user type in answers that we can then use to make decisions, do math, or display custom messages. And the best part is that from now on, all the lessons going forward will be project-based, because at this point, you already know enough Python to build some really cool stuff. So today we are going to create a mini project, a cafe ordering app. It will ask the user what they want to drink, how many cups they'd like, calculate the total price, and print out a customized receipt. Now, let's break it down step by step. So the first thing we need to do is ask the user, what would you like to drink? And the way we do that is by using user input. So we have to use the input function in order to do this. So we can do that by saying input, parentheses. Now inside the parentheses, you are going to type your message. So we're going to say quotes because we're using a string. We can say, what would you like to drink? Question mark, as well as a space button. So there's a space between the question and the user input. So when we run this, we're going to get what would you like to drink, and we could say water. Now code execution successful, great. However, we actually want to do something with this value. So we are going to create a variable. We can say that drink is equal to input what would you like to drink. So now water is equal to drink, and we have that information stored. Now the next thing we want to do is ask the user how many cups they'd like. So we are going to do the same thing. We're going to create a new variable. Let's just call it cups, set it equal to, use the input function again, and this time we're going to say what, or let's say how many cups of plus drink plus would you like. We're going to create a space here and a space here and question mark and another space here. So what exactly did I do here? Well, now in the output screen, it's going to print this message, how many cups of, and then it's going to do plus drink. And that's because drink is equal to water in this example. So it's going to say how many cups of water would you like? And so when we concatenate these two, we can use the plus operator. Now again, we don't put this under quotes because if we did that, then instead it would actually print drink. You don't want to use quotes. So let's enter this and we can say, what would you like to drink? I'm going to say water. How many cups of water would you like? I'm going to say 3. Great, code execution is successful. So now we actually want to find the total sum that the drink will take. And let's just say that the total price is going to be the amount of cups times 3. So we can say print cups times 3. So when we run this, we can get what would you like to drink? I'm going to say water. How many cups of water would you like? I'm going to say 5. However, when we run this, we get 5, 5, 5. Now this makes no sense because 5 times 3 is 15, not 555. Now here is something extremely important. And it's that even if the user types the number 5, like I did over here, Python still stores it as a string, meaning this 5 is not an integer, it's a string. So if we try to do math with a string, it doesn't work. It's just going to print that string 3 times. So it's going to print 5 once, then 5 again, and then 5 one last time, instead of multiplying 5 by 3. So what we have to do is convert the string into an integer. And we can do that by saying cups is equal to int cups. And basically what this is doing is that now we have a variable called cups, which is the same exact as this. However, the only difference is that we basically made cups an integer, and we do that by using the int function. So now cups is an integer and we can do math with it. Now let's just create a new variable. Let's say total. So this is our price. And we can set it equal to cups times 3. So now we can actually do math because we made cups an integer. So now the only thing left to do is print the total receipt. And here's how we can do that. We can say print. We're using the print function because we want to print something to the output screen. And we can say print that will be $. And then let's say plus str total. Now what exactly does this mean? Well, str basically means that we are converting total to a string. Because right now total is an integer, right? I mean, cups is an integer because we made it an integer, and 3 is an integer. So right now, total is an integer, not a string. However, you can't add an integer directly to a string. You have to convert that integer to a string. And so that's what we're doing here. Just like how we converted cups to an integer, we are converting total to a string. So we can add it properly to this phrase. So I can keep on going and I can say, let's say for your, and then I can also say str cups. Again, I'm doing the same exact thing I did with total. I'm making cups a string because I want to add it to this phrase. Because right now, cups is an integer. And then I can say plus cups of, add a space here. And then the last thing to do is plus drink. Now drink is already a string because right here, we never converted it to an integer. So it's already a string. And then the last thing, well, actually, that's pretty much it. That's all we need to do. So let's run this. What would you like to drink? I'm going to say water. How many cups of water would you like? I'm going to say 3. That will be $9 for your 3 cups of water. Fantastic. You actually built an online cafe that is able to take what the user would like to drink, how many cups they'd like to drink, and then print the total price. And that's user input.